My name is Alyssa, and I believe this is something that needs to be said publicly. This is how I came to questioning my faith after 2 years of discovering my same-sex attraction. So, start from the beginning. Ever since I was born, I've been told that everything in the Bible is true. When you die, you go to heaven or hell, and you live there eternally. And that Jesus is the only way to get to heaven. And so I believe that for 15, 16 years, up until about now, I've just become to the point that I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I'm atheist, but I'm not I guess you want to say born again Christian. So at this point, I've just let go. I don't see a reason for it anymore. But that was not how I felt when I was a child, and especially in 7th and 8th grade. Those are the times I was very passionate about my faith. But 8th grade was also the year that I had my first same-sex attraction, or at least one that I was able to open my mind to, because the first time I did was in 6th grade, and I was like, oh, that girl's cute. Not just like, oh, you're beautiful, you're adorable, like the kind of cute that's like, I'm attracted to you and I would like to date you, kind of, you know. And I automatically was like, okay, no, that's against the Bible. I can't think that. And so I shut my mind from those thoughts. But in the 8th grade, I was able to open my mind to that. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I think I do like girls. And I wanted to know, like, am I bi? Am I gay? Am I straight? I didn't know, and I just wanted to know so badly. So because of that, I quickly came out, and I came out as bisexual, even though I was unsure at the time. But I had came out to, like, my closest friends at school, and then the first words that I heard was, "You're going to hell." It didn't really faze me, but at the same time, it wasn't that encouraging after just coming out. And I understood why she said that, because she was scared. But I believed those words too. So I couldn't have a comeback to that and say, how dare you, because I believed that too. But she wasn't the one that kept on me about it. It was my mother. It was a couple weeks after I came out to my friends, I came out to them, but not in person. I couldn't in person. I went on Facebook and I wrote, "Everybody, I'm proud to announce I'm bisexual," and closed the computer, went to my bed and, laid in my bed, didn't really fall asleep. Just like thoughts racing in my mind, like, oh my gosh, what is she gonna think? When is she gonna read it? Oh gosh. And then she came, not too much longer, maybe 30 minutes later, she came in crying and like, is this true? Is this a joke? Like, why have you told me about this before? And so we had a talk for about 2 hours about how it's a sin and it's wrong, but also why I didn't just tell her instead of making it public on Facebook. But I believe I wanted that support, and that's why I did it publicly, so I can have friends comment that, oh, that's, that's good. Like, you're being true to yourself, and I wanted to hear those type of positive things, especially because I didn't believe them, and my family didn't have that those beliefs. They had the beliefs that it was wrong, and if you're gay, you'll go to hell. And it's so sad how any religion does that. They put these thoughts in their child's minds, and parents believe that this is helping them in the long run, and it becomes self-destructive, the total opposite of what their intention was. And it's absolutely terrible. For the next 2 years, I would say next year and a half, the last half of the year, she actually didn't lecture me, which I'm very glad. But the first year and a half, I got from a half-hour to 2-hour lectures about how I should ask God to take away the gayness and that it's wrong, I'll go to hell, yada yada yada. And because of that, I felt shameful of myself. I felt guilty, yet I believe it was the fear of course, it's the fear of going to hell that kept me holding on to my faith. Because 7th grade, 8th grade, this holding on my faith like this. And then slowly I started letting go. But in 9th grade, I was like, no, I want to be as passionate as I was in 7th and 8th grade. So I held on too tightly for a bit again. But it was almost too forceful, trying to become passionate again how I once was. But I no longer saw the same point of view, so it was kind of pointless. But until 10th grade, I just didn't really care. Learn to stand up and accept myself, and it doesn't matter what people say or what I used to believe. But it wasn't until I was just on YouTube and just browsing through Jacqueline Glenn's videos, and I was listening to a lot of her and Mr. Repzion and their points of views, and a lot of points they gave about how the Bible is contradictory. It doesn't make sense. And how children are so vulnerable when they're young. They believe whatever they're told, and that's exactly what happened to me. And so my mindset was completely wired around this belief. But now this was, I just let go. Just finally, I felt so free. I was free to think, free to express myself, and I can't even describe it. It was so relieving. I was just like, wow, I'm not afraid to be myself. 110%. I could finally be that. And around that exact same time too, my mom, how she used to lecture me, she said, I want to be a part of your dating life, and I want you to be open and honest with me about crushes and girls and just how I would if I were straight. And I was like, wow. Because for so long, because of the process of me coming out, I learned to fight up and stand for myself. And so because of that, I had like a shield. Whenever anything about LGBT was mentioned, I was ready for a comeback and ready to defend not just myself, but all of the other people who are in that community. If one example was the Fosters. It was on TV, and because there was 2 moms, my mom had turned it off. And at the time, I didn't quite say anything at that time, but I was just like, wow, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously? Like that affected me personally. But until from then, I started speaking up. And I actually got really into the Fosters once we got Netflix. And the last episode of season 3, my mom and I watched on TV, and she was like, wow, this show was really good. And was like, oh my god, like, wow, a half a year or a year ago, you would have just turned it off automatically. I just thought that. And so the past month, she's been a lot more open, I've noticed. But until a day or two after I was watching Jacqueline Glenn's videos, and she told me that she wants to be a part of my dating life. And I was like, wow. I felt not only free to myself, but free to be open with myself, but now free to be open with my mom. So that was a huge change. And what I want to say to anyone who grew up in a religious or faithful family, and why I say or faithful is because, like, I've always been told and believed that Christianity isn't really religion, although I'm still kind of iffy on that now. But just anyone with that, just know that you don't have to put up borders of your mind. You just try and discover yourself. And it might take you time, because it took me 2 years to finally open up to myself. And so if it'll take you time, of course it's going to take the people around you time too. So don't hold high expectations when you come out. Just be prepared for anything. Be prepared for the worst and for the best, because truth is, you never know. That's what I have to say.